Well, happy almost spring, everyone. Today I want to talk a little bit about something that I see a lot of, and I call it imposter reflux. And basically, a lot of people are diagnosed as having reflux, which is a condition that isn't as common as we may think. So imposter reflux is a reflux that happens as a result of poor food combining and an inability to digest that food properly. And what I mean by that is, for example, let's say somebody has a pretty robust meal that has protein and some good healthy fats in it, and then right on top of that meal they have some sweet fruit like melon or grapes or cherries or something like that. What happens is the food that you eat first, the protein and the fat, takes longer to digest. So when you put the fruit on top of it, the fruit digests very rapidly, and sometimes it creates a bit of a fermentation process, and that produces methane. Methane is a gas that can be produced that can come back up, giving us reflux-like symptoms. It's not real reflux, it's just that we've made a poor decision in combining our protein, our fat, with fruit or fruit sugar right after it. So what I recommend is that you separate your fruit or any of your sweets or simple carbohydrates into simple meals that aren't combined with other things. This way you'll digest more robustly, more quickly, and you won't have that food sitting in your stomach fermenting that fruit on top. That causes what I call imposter reflux. So with reflux, a lot of people get diagnosed and then they wind up taking things like Zantac or some other form of antacid. And this is an interesting piece that came out a few months back. The FDA investigates a possible carcinogen from the drug manufacturer who makes this, what's called a proton pump inhibitor. So when we take these drugs to inhibit our acids, we're actually counterproductive in our digestive process. And what I mean by that is you need acid in your stomach to digest your food. And when you take an antacid or an acid suppressor, like a proton pump inhibitor, then you're actually really taking the battery out of your fire alarm. You're not putting the fire out, so to speak. It's kind of a quick fix, Band-Aid approach that doesn't really fix the root cause of your problem. What I would recommend is if you have true reflux, take something like Zypan, which is pure HCl with betaine, which is an enzyme that comes from papaya and pineapple. It's a very healthy and easy thing to take with no side effect. It just helps the food to go down. So the food is intended to go in, down, processed, absorbed, digested, assimilated, and then the rest is to be removed during excretion. So, I think a lot of times what happens is we get these diagnoses and we think we have a condition that needs to be treated with some form of chemical or drug, and it just doesn't really help the root cause of the problem. So I hope this helps. I hope you understand food combining is something that doesn't need to be super scientific. Carbs should be taken with carbs, and protein and vegetable together, and keep your fats also in with the protein. Those digest a little more. It's a longer duration of digestion there, but you don't want to add sugary things after a protein and or fatty meal. So I hope that helps. Remember, stay informed and get adjusted.